All right, here's a short little recap on average rate of change. So remember that average rate of change is really just another way to talk about slope. Or rather, slope is another way to talk about average rate of change. So what you need to remember for most of these is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So on all of these problems, any problem you get involving average rate of change, it's going to start by giving you an interval. So this interval that it's giving you, notice it's giving you a range of x values. So it's telling you -7 is one of the x values, and 5 is the other x value, +5. Okay, so on the graph, we're going to find -7. I'm going to try to help you kind of follow along. -7, and we find the point that matches with that. So here's -7 on the x-axis, and this is the point that matches with that. So that point is -7, 0. And then we'll find 5. And so I find 5 on the x-axis, and I follow up to find the point that matches with that. And so the point on the curve is 5, 5. And then you're just going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 5 minus 0 over 5 minus -7. 5 over 12. So this one is going to be 5 over 12 when you work that out. Okay. So when you look at a table, same idea. I still care about these these endpoints of -7 and +5. So in my table, I'm going to pull the point -7 and +5. And I don't care about any of the rest of it. The rest of the table is completely irrelevant because I just care about those 2 points. So I'm going to do the same thing, average rate of change, y2, 124 minus y1 over -7 minus 5. The big thing that you all need to remember with that is just make sure that you're going, like if you start with 124 up here at the top, then you need to start with -7 when you do the other side of it. See, I'm starting with 124 and -7. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to make a mistake somewhere, my guess is that would be it. And then you just divide. This is 120 over -12, and you just simplify as far as you can. So this is going to simplify all the way down to be -10 as the rate of change. Okay, the last way you might ask to find the rate of change is you might be given an equation. And again, I need the 2 points with -7 and 5. And you have 2 options. You could plug them in, but that's actually going to take a while. So if it were me, I would use your calculator and make your calculator do it. So let me show you what I mean by that. So on your calculator, you will go to y equals in the calculator. You will type in the function. Make sure for x that you use the x, t, theta, n button. And then you will go to the table. And if you need to know how to get to the table, you hit the button second and graph. You need to know how to use the table on your calculator. Like if you haven't learned that yet in ACT prep, that is very importante. So when you look at the table in the calculator, it's going to give you all these values. You might have to scroll to find them, but remember you're interested in the values -7 and +5, and then you will use those values to calculate your rate of change. -89 minus -77 over -7 minus 5. So notice again that I started with the same values, right? These values like match each other. And then you will just simplify. Oh, I'm doing math very quickly. 12 over -12, all right, which is -1. And the worksheet's not very clear, but ideally you would be using those so that you could compare average rates of change between the different functions on those intervals. Which one's smallest, which one's largest, la da 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 da. I think they all say least to greatest.